Alright guys, welcome back. We're going to do second video here on NAC circuits. So what we're going to use here is a pair of strippers, cutters, whatever you want to call them. Whatever your nickname for whatever part of the world you are in. Everybody has something different in these fields, and everybody likes to use something different. There's no preference. I like to use the single-handed ones. That's just my general preference to use. So what we're going to do is take a look at some strobes, some live action here. Putting our home run on, putting our end of line on, troubleshooting our strobes. Now, no, I said not to focus too much on model specifics when we're doing this, but again, when we are looking at this specific model of Ultronics, and most Ultronics panels, again, do this when you're dealing with Ultronics fire power supplies. You have dip switches down here at the bottom. Those dip switches can be set to interact with your strobes in specific ways. For instance, the most familiar, synchronization. You can sync strobes for their type of brand, Gentex, System Sensor, Wheelock, etc. So, hooking up a strobe. This is a System Sensor strobe. You have two positives and a minus. In the fire alarm world, that means two reds, two blacks. We're going to lay down our first one. We're going to put our end of line on, or I'm sorry, our negative. Screw that down for just a second, not too tight. Set that off to the side. We're going to go with out 4, because why not? Let's see how out 4 interacts. I know you're thinking, why do you have so many different kind of resistors on there? You got 3 different kinds. You know, because as long as it's a 2.2, right now at least, in this aspect of things, we are going to worry just that it is a 2.2 and not the actual wattage of the resistor, because that can matter depending on how many strobes we are putting on the circuit. So again, like we looked at in our first video, out 1 had opened input 1, but you can notice here out 4 is opening input 2. And that's why I was saying your inputs can interact depending on how these dip switches are set with different outputs. So input 1 to your right may actually interact with 1 and 2. Input 2 interacts with 3 and 4. Now, that's not normally the way you would set this up. Normally the way you would set this up is input 1 should interact with all 4. Certain circumstances you might have where it interacts differently, but very seldomly are you going to see that. So back to what we were doing. We got our end of line. We got our strobe. We're going to put the other side of our end of line on our strobe. Put one side on the positive, one side of your end of line on the positive, one side of your red on the other positive. We're going to take this here, we're gonna get a little more wire on that. So that way gotta get that fixed. You can see that my office light keeps going out behind me. Need to open up the switch and change the timer on it. But at least when I'm doing videos. So once I can get this underneath there, we can proceed. Right now, having some difficulties. That's what happens when you spend too much time in the office and less time in the field. Okay. So we've got it on there now. We've got one side of the resistor on the positive, our red on one side of the positive. We got our black or our negative on one side of the negative here, the other side of the resistor on the negative here. Should go together just like that. We'll take our wire here. We're going to hook it straight to our system. You can see that now our light has gone back to a normal flashing. We hit our reset, shows that it is clear. But strobe is not on there. Now, we can put our strobe back on. Put our strobe back on. Reset our system, and we've cleared our output. Now, what if we wanted to test the circuit? What if we didn't know what the strobe was? Or where our open was? Let's say we didn't know where our open was. It's between here and 15 different strobes. One of the most simple ways of doing this, if nobody's in the building or you have opportunity to set off the devices, we move over to our auxiliary. Oh, whoops, that'll happen. Move over to our aux. I don't do this if there's a short on your strobes, but if you're looking for an open, we're looking for an open, we can simply start flashing our strobes. I know that's messing up the camera, but we can flash our strobes, look for an open. And that's done by, okay, if we have X amount of strobes, how many of those strobes are flashing, and how many are not flashing. And the last one in your circuit that is flashing should indicate to you that, okay, this is probably where I need to start looking for my open. Because beyond this, my strobes aren't flashing. We can go ahead and represent that here. I've got a second strobe. I can go ahead and show y'all how we do this. Bear with me. We are doing this as we go. Now, I'm not really going to go over ground faults and shorts in this video, because that is for a separate time and will require a whole lesson in itself. But it is not much different than doing what we're doing here. A lot of process of elimination. Forgive all the noise, background. It is me working. I know the sound's damaging, but I promise you it's not. No strobes were harmed in the process of this video. Okay. Here's what we've got. Hope y'all see a little bit better. Okay. We've got makeup of 2 strobes. Oop. Here's 1, 2. It's missing right now. We're gonna plug it in. As of right now, we have a complete circuit. If we take our wire, we put it on our output, we eventually clear our output, and see the light's back to blinking. But if we open it up, take it off, back. It's a slow acting one. So we're gonna flash 2 strobes now. This can also be done by activating the input. You can activate all of the outputs. You don't have to run this across the auxiliary. But if you activate the inputs, then you activate all outputs. So to isolate one, we're just gonna do it this way. So now both of our strobes are flashing. We've got 2 strobes flashing. But if we remove one, that one still flashes. We press it. We open the circuit, and our strobe quits flashing. That's our in. Let's just remove our out, put our in back on. Still get no flashing, right? Because our out has been removed. Our out goes to our in the blind. Put this strobe back together. So now our one strobe flashes, but our second strobe doesn't. Still flash. So that's how you can find, okay, well, hey, this is my last strobe flashing. I need to look from here and see why my end of line isn't flashing. You get up in the ceiling, behind the wall, pull down the device, and you look to find, oh, hey, one side is missing. See? Once we correct our circuit, our strobes start flashing again. Put our strobes back together. Now they're both flashing. So that's how we search for an open circuit. Remove your wire from your aux so that they quit flashing. Because now you found your open, you've corrected it, your strobe circuit's good to go. We can go ahead and put it back on our output. We're clear. We're reset. We're good to go. Let's troubleshoot the power supply on a NAC output.